Hey y'all, so this is part two of Who the F Did I Make a Baby Doll With? Um, this is my little baby Rue. He is the Rue by Cassie Brace. He is a little preemie baby. He is so adorable, you guys. Made, well, painted and rooted by one of my favorite artists. But this is actually one of the favorite babies of the individual Kesha. So I just wanted to bring him on. I do want to have baby dolls or reborns rather in my videos so that you guys can see that I am a collector. And it kind of gives me comfort to have them too as well. So let's get started on part two. Keisha invited me over for a little like kickback or whatever she was having at her Airbnb. She was still in town. I ended up going over, and the house was full with people. It was very awkward when I first got there. It was like all eyes on me. I found out later that the reason why that happened is because Keisha had told these individuals a bunch of things about me that were personal, that were like weird to tell people that I didn't know, but I mean, she did it anyway. So, hey, it is what it is. So, we had some drinks and she ended up cooking. We had loaded baked potatoes. She loaded mine with shrimp because she knew I did not eat meat. Um, I helped her clean up. We had a shot together. It was really loud in the house, so I asked her if she wanted to go outside for a little bit. Plus, it was a little hot in there, a lot of bodies. So we did go out on the porch, and I felt like we had like a really good connection um, with each other. It was getting later and later as we talked about certain different things and really kind of bonded with each other. And she said that I could stay the night. Now, mind you, the time that I had been in the Airbnb, I had noticed that the room that was occupied by her, it also had a bathroom in it. So I was using that bathroom because it was downstairs. There was a main hallway bathroom, but they said that the toilet was broke or something like that. I don't remember. But so I was using the bathroom in her room, and I noticed that Austin, his stuff, and I'm saying his because he's a transgender, so it's F to M, female to male. But Austin's stuff was in Keisha's room, like clothing, everything, all that. And I noticed, I'm like, okay, so Austin didn't lie. Austin clearly has to be her boyfriend if his stuff is in her room. That's what I'm thinking to myself. So I was like, is that going to be okay with your boyfriend for me to stay over and stay in your room? No, I don't feel comfortable with that. And she was like, my boyfriend, like, no, me and Austin are not together. And I was like, well, he introduced himself as your boyfriend. And she kind of laughed and brushed it off and was like, no, we're not together. So I was like, oh, okay. So she ended up going to take a shower. And I laid in her bed, and she came out there, nothing, nothing sexual happened or anything like that. We just kind of laid and cuddled with each other, and we talked until we fell asleep. Um So yeah, that happened, and the next in the morning, it was early in the morning. I had to get up because I had to go to work, and I worked from home, but I still had to go to work, y'all. So I had to go, and she was like, she wanted to see me again, and this and that and the third, and she only had, I think, like 2 more days to be in Georgia. And she really wanted to hang out because she really like was enjoying my company and my vibe. So I was like, okay, cool, we can arrange something or whatever. So as work went by, everything was cool. She had called me later on that evening, and this was like a major red flag, you guys. So we were just having a random conversation, and she brought up, marriage and children. And I told her that, I don't think that I'm interested in getting married again. I lost the love of my life. my best friend, and I just don't think, that I would want someone else to have my last name. I also told her that my kids are pretty much grown. I'm not ready nor willing to raise another baby. Like, I am okay. That's why I was part of this hobby, because I don't want to have any more children. And, I thought that that would be the end of the topic and the end of the discussion. No issues, no hard feelings. I thought wrong. Little Miss Ma'am, Keisha, got really defensive, got in her feelings, started yelling, screaming. I don't know if she was really crying, but pretending to cry about me telling her these things. And it threw me off. I was so confused. But me being the empath that I am, I said, you know what? I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. That's the way that I feel. I can't change the way I feel. It sounds like you need a moment. I'm gonna let you have that moment. Um, I will talk to you later. And so, excuse me, I ended the conversation. I got several text messages that did not make any sense. I mean, it just felt like she made it seem like I was going to propose to her or I wanted to marry. I don't know what it was like in her mind, but it was really weird that she got that upset because she said those are the things she wanted in her life. And I'm like, okay, but we're not together. So if you want to get married, you still can. If you want to have kids, you still can. Like, we weren't even in a relationship at this time. I wasn't even talking about, hey, being my girlfriend or anything. So I was just thrown off by how she was acting. So that day went by, and I was just like thinking to myself that night, like, you don't need this shit right now. You have a lot of stuff going on in your life. You don't need this extra shit from her and what she got going on, because she's acting really crazy. So I had it in my mind that I was gonna just, like, not, I was gonna ghost her pretty much. I wasn't going to see her anymore while she was in Atlanta. I probably would end up, conversating with her again when she went back to Alabama, but I was not interested in pursuing any more conversations in person with her while she was in my town. She ended up calling me, and she knew that the vibe was different. She could catch on pretty quickly. It was the day before they were leaving, and she was like, hey, I have all this stuff, like, at the house, like alcohol and stuff like that, and drinks and stuff like that, non-alcoholic, and I don't want to throw them away. We bought way too much stuff that we didn't finish before we leave. Would you like it? And I said, not really, I'm okay, or whatever. And she was like, well, could you please just take it, and you can give it to somebody else, because I really hate to throw this away. A lot of it isn't even open. So I told her, okay, that's fine. She could drop it off at my house. Clearly, she knew where I lived because she had dropped me off um, the day before that. So she ended up coming over with her sister, Alicia, her sister, and Alicia's girlfriend. So um, she brought this big ass trash bag of stuff up to the door, and I greeted her and I took it. And she was like, I know, like, you're feeling some type of way about me right now. I just really want to talk to you about, my behavior. So I was like, okay. So I went downstairs with her to the car, and we sat in the car and we were talking. And she was like, I really, really want to, like, make it up to you how I acted, and I'm really sorry. And I just want to, spend time with you before I leave. I leave tomorrow, and I may not ever see you again. So I was like, okay, it can't hurt. Cool. So we ended up hanging out again that night. And like we were just talking and everything. Like it was just like the whole vibe started all over again. I should have never ever like, got sucked back into that trap, but I did. And so the next morning they were getting ready to go, and she woke up early and started packing her stuff, and she started crying. And I felt so bad that she was crying, and she was like, you're never going to talk to me again. I'm never going to see you again. Like, this is the best birthday that I ever had. And I don't want to lose you as a friend. I really care about you. I'm starting to care about you, like, on a whole different level. Like, I don't want to lose, like, our connection. I know you'll probably never call me again. And she was just in tears. And I told her, I was like, that's not true. We'll still keep in touch. I promise. And she was like, when I get off the plane, can I call you as soon as I land? And I said, sure. You can give me a call. I should be off of work by that time, and we can have a conversation or whatever the case may be. So, we hugged each other. We said our goodbyes. And of course, we had each other's numbers, so we would talk once she got home. Um, Boy, when she got home, things were okay for like a few weeks. We had a lot of deep conversations. We talked about so many different things about our lives and our childhoods and things like that. She told me a lot about like how she's been sick a lot and she's been having issues, and she had like PCOS and different things like that. She never really got into all the things that she had. She did tell me that, her seizures were a thing that really affected her, and they're trying to figure out why she was having them because the doctors didn't know. Um, so she started to tell me about Austin, and she was letting me know that Austin had mental issues, and basically she was supposed to be the advocate for Austin and was taking care of Austin, and Austin was like sleeping in her bed or something like that, and I just felt it was just weird. Their whole dynamic was weird. um I later on found out that, of course, that was her supply before I was her supply, so she used Austin. um she then explained to me about how she wanted to um come see me. We decided that, you know, we wanted to see each other. We had like missed hanging out and everything like that. So she was supposed to come see me. Before she came, before she was supposed to come see me, there was an issue between me and her. And we ended up getting into it because I was talking a lot about my wife, and it started to feel like she had an issue with it. So I kind of brought it up, and we ended up arguing about it. Um, it got really, really nasty. She said some really hateful things to me. I was devastated. I told her that I don't think it's a good idea for us to talk to each other anymore. And she went on to threaten me. She told me that if I did not answer the phone or take her phone calls, that she was going to come to Georgia and she was going to beat me up. She then proceeded to call me out of my name. She called me a bitch. Then she started to play on my phone because I would not answer my phone. Um, this went on for, oh my gosh, for a few days. I tried my best to ignore it. I really didn't want to deal with it at all. I was done. I wiped my hands of the situation. I really was not going to talk to her anymore. And so this is where I look like the dumbest person in the world. I know it doesn't make me look like extremely smart. I don't lack intelligence, you guys. I was grieving. I was going through a lot, and I used to be a fixer. I used to want to be a healer. I used to want to always see the good in people. I got a phone call from Austin that said that Kesha shot herself. I knew that this was furthest from the truth. I just felt like I need to help this girl because she's gone. She's far gone, and I feel a way for her because she doesn't have anybody. And for you to go this far through these links to tell this lie, you must really need me in your life. Stupid, right? I know. So I knew this girl did not shoot herself. I knew that. But I fed into the bullshit. So me and Austin exchanged words because he got really rude and nasty with me when he was trying to tell me what was going on. And I was going to be done with the situation again because I was just like, this back and forth shit is crazy. She then did end up calling me herself 2 days after she supposedly shot herself. And from what Austin told me, she shot herself because she was mad at me because I wouldn't talk to her anymore. Then I heard from her that she was cleaning her gun and she accidentally shot herself while she was cleaning her gun. I knew both of those were furthest from the truth, y'all. And I just entertained the bullshit. It was probably one of the dumbest things that I've ever done. So I was like, wow, like this girl is really disturbed, and my heart goes out for her. Like, I really want to help her get the help that she needs because something is wrong. Um, and so I continued to, talk to her after that. It was leading up to her coming to see me. Um, there were little things that she would tell me, like things that she liked and stuff. And just to make her day, I would purchase some of the things that she asked for, or like she would like hint around about. She had complained a lot about her bills because she kept having seizures, so she wasn't able to pay her bills consistently. I helped with a couple of her bills to help her out and everything like that. And when it came finally time for her to come and see me, um, everything was good. So I came to the airport to pick her up, and it was really like our little reunion was really nice. Um, we ended up hugging, and we ended up, y'all, kissing. We ended up kissing. So it was like, wow, like this girl really likes me. She really cares about me. That's how I felt at the time. So we did a lot of cooking and stuff together. We ended up going out to the movies. Everything was going really good between us, so I thought. Then I don't know, she just, her attitude and the way that she was acting like kind of threw me off. And I was just like, you know what? I don't think I'm ready for this. This is not something that I'm ready for right now in my life. And I don't think I need to be dating somebody. And when I told her that, she got extremely upset. She told me like basically I was nothing to her, and when she got back home, all contact would be like cut off, and she didn't care for me as a person. She just got really nasty. And this was before I had to go to work. So I, being as sensitive as I am, I really like took everything that she said to heart, and like I was really upset, and I was crying. And so I had to go to work with that mentality, with that mindset. I worked from home, so all I did was just move from my room to my dining room. And the whole time that I was at work and I was, working, I could hear her in the room laughing on the phone with her sisters. after she just hurt my feelings. So I felt some type of way about it. When it was time for my break, I ended up going in my room and I was like, upset, and I was expressing how upset I was about everything. And she's continued to be on the phone with her family, her fake family. And one of her sisters was like, "Oh, you're like basically saying derogatory stuff." I don't remember exactly what she said. And then the other sister ended up saying something that really was like, what the hell? And it was just like they got mad, disrespectful, and I just felt like, I can't do this. So I asked her to leave my apartment, and she conveniently had a seizure while I was arguing with her sisters back and forth on the phone. And so, in the midst of all of that, I just stopped everything and went to go to be at her aid. Um, I don't think that I know for a fact she didn't fake having seizures, but she faked having seizures, if that makes sense. She did really have seizures, but she would fake seizures in times to get out of shit. Basically, I started to learn her ways and her tricks. So she faked a seizure that day because she was not having a seizure. And I was trying to help her, So once she, came back around and everything, I was like, you don't have to leave. You can stay here until you get your bearings or whatever. I'm not gonna put you out. And she was like, no, I'm going, and da 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 da. So she started packing up all her shit to leave. And I didn't stop her because you said you want to go. You're a grown ass woman, so you can go. So she got her suitcase and everything, and she went outside the apartment. And I guess she waited for her Uber to come, and then she left. She was supposed to be there for a while in Georgia. She was supposed to be for a while, but um, I didn't know where she went after she left my house, and I kind of left it where it was. I wasn't going to be concerned with it anymore. She decided to call me, and she was in the hospital, y'all. I asked her what hospital. She said she didn't know. Lies. The closest hospital, which she knew the closest hospital to my house was Wellstar, because she had been there prior to, because she said that she had fainted or something, or kept throwing up. I don't remember what it was, but she had to go to the hospital because she wasn't feeling well. We later found out that it was because she ended up having IIH. Um, how can I explain IIH to you guys? It's basically fluid on the brain. Um, it also started leaking out her ears because the fluid build up. It's due to heavy um, gaining of weight. So mostly people who are overweight end up with IIH. It is curable by either getting a shunt or losing weight. So we'll get into that later on why that's important, her diagnosis. But so she was in the hospital. She wouldn't tell me what hospital she was at so I could see her while she was still in Georgia to see if she was okay. She wasn't interested in giving me any of that information, so I knew she was lying. When she was about to be released from the hospital, her sisters came down here to escort her on the plane back to Alabama. I don't think that that was true either. Once she got back to Alabama, she was forbidden by her pastor, fake mother, to not speak with me anymore. I told her that I respected that things got out of hand between us, and yeah, that's fine. We don't have to talk. But she continued to call me. We talked pretty much every day. Then the thing that happened was the family that she was living with, they were treating her bad. They had her on bed rest, feeding her seizure meds to stay asleep 24/7. They weren't feeding her, and nobody was helping her get up to go to the bathroom. That's why she kept falling. That was the story that I was told. I started sending money for her to get food because she was unable to cook for herself. Then she said that she needed somebody to help her because she was afraid of these people that she called family that she was living with because they were drugging her. I asked her, did she want me to call the police and get them involved or call an ombudsman or, like, social worker or anything to do a wellness check? She never wanted me to. She said the only person that she trusted was me, and she wanted me to come and visit her. I was in the midst of moving out of my old apartment, and I was going to be moving in with my mom until I found a new place because my lease had been up, and I honestly was not in the mood for looking for a new place at the time. And she said she needed me and that she wished that I would come to our to to Alabama to help her. And you guys, my dumbass moved to Alabama thinking that I was going to help her. And I guess that's where we'll stop at, you guys, for part 2 of Who the F Did I Make a Baby Doll With? I will be talking to y'all soon with the part 3. Right, Rue? We'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.